Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have another Fortnite figure today. Who saw that coming? I sure didn't. Well, I kind of did actually, because I'm the one making the review. But regardless, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my good friend King, who was actually awesome enough to hook me up with this figure just out of the kindness of his heart. He saw that I had the other one, I had reviewed it, so he acquired this one and gave it to me, you know, again, as an awesome friend that he is. So a huge thank you goes out to him for supplying this figure to me and allowing me to add this one to my collection and of course review it for you guys. But you can now see we've got the yellow version of the Raptor. Previously we had reviewed the orange version. Now this one is the yellow version, and I think it's a little bit different than the other one, but I think we'll just have to wait and see to be sure because I'm not positive. But you can see again the box is absolutely beat up and it was not treated very well in transit, so it's got, you know, quite a bit of damage. Hopefully the figure's fine inside. I would imagine it would be, because, you know, it's a pretty sturdy, stable figure. I don't see it getting damaged by that kind of thing too much, but we'll have to wait and see for sure. And then here on the back you can see the Raptor itself, the coloration that we have going on with this one, and the fact that there is a chicken involved here, I guess, for the meal with the Raptor. Again, I'm not too familiar with Fortnite. I don't play it or anything. My kids do, but I'm not too familiar in general with the Raptors from that game. So let's go ahead, pop this box open, and we'll check it out. So here is our ridiculous looking chicken, or rooster, whatever you'd like to call that. I don't know, maybe it looks like more of a rooster. And then we've also got our Raptor. Now, wow, that one actually stands a lot nicer than the other one did. The other one I was having a lot of issues with standing. This one stood straight out of the box. That's pretty cool. I think it's the same sculpt. I'm going to have to grab the other one and bring it in, but I'm pretty sure it is the same sculpt as the previously released version. It just looks a little bit different as far as, of course, the paint apps go. But I will say, you know, even though I don't play Fortnite, I don't know much of anything about Fortnite, I think these Raptor figures are pretty fun, and I actually hope they release more dinosaurs, maybe into the games, and then into figure form. Maybe there are already other dinosaurs. I have no idea, because again, like I said, I don't know anything about it, but these Raptor figures are just so fun, and it's crazy for me to say that considering it is Hasbro, and Hasbro often, when it comes to dinosaurs, doesn't do them well, but it seems as though lately they've been getting a little better, or at least as far as these Fortnite figures go. So let's go ahead and jump straight to a closer look, and we'll check this figure out from there. So I went ahead and grabbed my other Raptor just to kind of iron out whether or not it was the same sculpt or not, and it absolutely is. Everything sculpt-wise appears to be the same on this one compared to the first version, which was the orange version, even though it was more of like a red-orange sort of a tone, more of like a red actually, than orange at all. But this time we have the yellow version, and we at least do have some very definitive yellows on this one. But since this is the same sculpt as the previously released version, that means we don't need to take a closer look at the actual sculpt or fine detail. We just need to take a look at what's different on this one compared to the first version. So if you want to see a more detailed look at the actual sculpt, make sure you check out the review of the other version of the Raptor. But you can see we've got some nice yellowish tones here in the face for the Raptor, and then you've got a nice green that kind of leads up and over the top of the head. One thing I really like about these figures is the paintwork on the eye. I think the paintwork on the eye always looks really nice. It looked very good on the other one. Definitely looks nice on this one again. We actually have variations of orange to the eye. You can see like darker variations of orange out along the like outer edge of the eye, lighter tones on the inner part of the eye, and then you also have a black pupil with a white outline. So they did do a good job of putting quite a bit into the coloration and paint apps of the eyes. And of course you can also see leading back here into the back of the head, we've got some feathers sticking out. Those as well are painted with a yellow. We of course have an articulated jaw, which is a little stiff right now. On the inside of the mouth we've got a pinkish tone there for the tongue. Pink on the inside of the mouth on the upper side, so showing that Hasbro at least cares a little bit, because they definitely put paintwork all over the place on this one when it comes to the inside of the mouth. And you can also see the teeth are painted with sort of like an off-white, so a little bit of a nice naturalistic, realistic sort of a tone of color, I think, for the teeth. And the jaw does articulate very nicely. I would almost say this figure is pretty close to being like super articulated, because as you move down the course of the neck, you have quite a bit when it comes to the articulation. And look at how nice that works. That is just so smooth. You know, with how good of a job they've done on this, I wouldn't mind seeing more dinosaurs released from Hasbro in the future. And I almost feel weird saying that because of how bad of a job they did on the Jurassic World line that pretty much scarred everyone if you are a Jurassic collector. And to now see that they're doing a better job on their dinosaurs really kind of makes me want to see more dinos from Hasbro. But as you move down again, you do also have another spot of articulation right here, which is unbelievably stiff. There we go, we're kind of moving it now. That for some reason is like super stiff. Currently, I guess because I haven't moved it previously. But if you look down here on the underside of the neck and throat, you have a very nice light green. As you move down, that then transitions to a yellow for the underside of, like the chest leading into the stomach. As you lead up here, you can also see that we have a green for the arms. Unfortunately, no nail paint on the fingers, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But you can also see some yellow feathers sticking off of the back of the elbow of our Raptor. And then if you lead up here to the top, you have a very nice design going on with some nice bluish tones, like some nice light blue tones that kind of start up there in like the shoulder area. Continue to lead down along the back, all the way out onto the tail, but not all the way through the tail. You can see it does end pretty early on, but if you lead down here and look at the underside, you can see the yellowish tone for the most part leads almost the entire way out there onto the tail, so that is also a plus as far as that goes. And then if you run down through the course of the legs, you can see we again have green for the legs, but once you get down into the feet, you have a yellowish tone again taking over for the feet with some gray painted nails. And it is nice to see some nails painted on this, even though the fingernails weren't painted. At least the toenails are. We don't have dew claws or anything, unfortunately, but it is still a pretty cool looking version of the Raptor. I don't know which one I'll totally say I prefer. We'll have to wait until we see them next to each other. But again, you do also have arm articulation in case you're unfamiliar with them. Forward and back, and also out away from the body. Very smooth. And then you also have leg articulation forward and back. Doesn't do anything else. It doesn't come out away from the body or anything like that. And I don't think we have tail now. The tail does not articulate. Kind of looks like it would, but it does not. But definitely another very fun looking version of the Raptor. And then we've also got the meal for our Raptor. And I would say he looks pretty good also. You know, decent sculpt. Not a whole lot going on. Like, there's not really any fine detail to the feathers or anything. Just a very goofy looking appearance to it, but considering it is a video game version of a rooster, I wouldn't expect there to be really fine detail because it's not like it's a super highly detailed figure or anything, but you can see the beak is painted out. We've also got some yellow there for the eye and a black pupil. You've got some reds there on the face and leading up into the top of the rooster, chicken, whatever you want to call it. And then you've also got yellow feet, no nail paint or anything like that, but you know, it's definitely a pretty fun figure. Obviously, it's not meant to be something amazing to play with. It's just a little accessory for our Raptor, but he's pretty nice also. And then to further show off the fact that it definitely is the same sculpted figure as the previously released version, here is the other version, and you see what I'm talking about. When it comes to this one, just does not want to stand. I cannot get the legs like in a good spot. I guess they're warped or something. I don't know. I cannot get that one to stand well. I did have it standing during the last review, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. The legs are... I just give up. The legs are really, for some reason, loose on that version of the Raptor. They just like don't stay standing. They start to kind of like move and slide. Oh, I almost had it. Looked like we almost had it going on there. There we go. Now we have it standing. It doesn't stand well, I can definitely say that, but if you look at the two together, you can easily see that they are the same sculpt and follow along with the same sort of color scheme, just different tones of color. And honestly, the only thing that's really different now looking at them would be the reddish tone on the newer one is a yellow. You can see that the feathers that were pink on the older one are, of course, yellow as well with the newer one. And then the underbelly is also a yellow on the newer one compared to the red on the other one. I don't know that I should really say newer one. I think they were released at the same time, but it's newer to me. Even the eyes are actually painted the same. And I do kind of like the fact that they have the same pattern and same style of coloration because, as I always say, it kind of makes it look like they might be from the same group of Raptors or something, but they just obviously are a little bit different as far as the tones of color. But this very clearly shows you that, again, the sculpt is the same, which means we don't really need to measure it. We don't need to do comparisons or anything like that because we've already done that with the previous review. So this Hasbro Fortnite Raptor figure is another fun release. Again, honestly, I really quite like these. And there was a point in time where I had seen them at Walmart and I saw them show up and I'm like, man, $25 for a weird Fortnite dinosaur. I just don't know that I can pay that because I don't really like Fortnite, but I did kind of want it just because it was a Raptor. And eventually I chose not to get it until I found one on clearance, which was the, in quotation marks, orange version. And I snagged it, and honestly, I was really quite impressed with it. It's a pretty darn cool figure. And now, thanks to my good friend King, I now have the yellow version as well to add to my collection, which completes my Raptor collection from Fortnite. And this figure as well is really quite nice. I still can't say for sure which one I prefer. It's really tough. I think I like both of them probably equally, because this one again looks really good. It's got some very nice, I guess you could say naturalistic tones of color overall, something I could probably see a Raptor being in real life. And it obviously has that exaggerated look to it, the same exaggerated look we saw in the other one, and exactly what you would expect to see in Fortnite, because even though I don't play the game, I have seen a little bit of it because my kids are always trying to sell it on me. But it overall is a pretty fun figure. It's got some nice paint apps, that's for sure. And it also has some very nice, very smooth articulation, which is also a huge plus. And considering it's Hasbro and doesn't have screw holes all over it, I almost want to give them a round of applause for that aspect. On top of that, you've also got a nice little meal there with our chicken, and that as well is pretty fun. It's nothing amazing, but again, it's probably something to do with the game that I'm unaware of. It's just a neat little extra as far as I'm concerned. So overall, if you are interested in grabbing one of these, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase one to the best of my knowledge, or you can, of course, head to Walmart, see if they're still there. Maybe they're still on clearance. I don't really know. I haven't seen any since I purchased my last one there, my orange one, but, they may still be there for all I know. Regardless, if you are interested, make sure you check the link that I will include in the description, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.